Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
The dream of North Wilkesboro Speedway began in the mid-1940s when Enoch Staley found inspiration in a stock car race that Bill France had promoted in South Carolina before the formation of NASCAR. The story goes that Staley and his partners ran out of money to create their perfect oval, leaving the track with an uphill slope on the backstretch and a downhill slope to the finish. Such was born one of the most unique short tracks in NASCAR history. A .625-mile oval that hosted the Cup Series twice a year until 1996. Jeff Gordon won the final race here. From that second the last checkered flag fell, race fans have clamored for the return of North Wilkesboro, and now we go back in time. The track has been digitally restored to its 1987 state, giving iRacers the opportunity to relive the iconic North Carolina short track as it existed in its heyday. Richard Petty won here 8 times, Darrell Waltrip 10 times, including 5 in a row. And tonight is race number 13 of the Davidson Builders Truck Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Race details for tonight. 160 laps the race distance, 83-degree ambient temperature. Relatively humid here, 88% humidity. Overcast skies, no breeze to speak of at 2 miles per hour. Track temp down to 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Plenty of grip here at the Speedway this evening. Drivers should have a 65% fuel load and 4 sets of tires to work with throughout the course of the race. Practice just about wrapped up here at North Wilkesboro. Let's take a look at the best times. Zach Millen on top of the board. 1907, very fast. We saw quick times in the 1920s early on, and those numbers have gotten better and better throughout the course of the practice session. Connor Leach, second quick. Mark Collins, Paul Durkee, Chris Goins, the top 5. Then Alfie Charon, 6th. The 29 of Jesse Sperling, then Jacob Sperling in 8th, Russ Kilgore and Chris Klein rounding out the top 10 times here in practice. Just about a minute left in the session, about 40 seconds actually. Get right into qualifying. Fuel looks like it has been modified. On the schedule it says 65%. Here it looks like it's 55%, and we do have 2 sets of tires over the wall instead of the 4 that we had anticipated. Yeah, looking at the schedule, it should have been 4 sets at 70%. Things have changed slightly. Two laps in 10 minutes. Qualifying session slated for. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Chris Elliott in the chat already says, hard to not go with Zach, but I got to root for Goins to be one of the ones to watch tonight. Chris Goins in the 41 truck, 5th quick in practice. See what he has to offer in qualifying, and we are in that session now. Looks like Brandon Coleman may be first to roll. Indeed, he is, the number 19 machine. Coleman out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Coleman out of turn 4, should complete his first lap. At the line, what does he have? 19.215 for Coleman. Provisional pole sitter for now. Good lap, but I don't think it's going to hold. Skylar Harrod on the racetrack, the number 3 machine out of Madison, Indiana. Fun story about Skylar Harrod and Alfie Charon, actually, back at Iowa earlier in the season. Alfie was staring at the monitor on his screen watching a replay on the broadcast and didn't realize that Skylar was just ahead of him and ended up running into him under caution. Cost him a 45-second hold the following race. Skylar off turn number 4. At the stripe. 10th quick, 19.976. Lap 2 still to be run. Goins wraps up his time at 19.24, 3rd fast. Chris Klein finishes up his as well, 19.360. He's 6th fast. A lot of drivers still not rolling out for their session, for their attempt. I think top 10 so far. Millett went to the racetrack, but pulled back in the pits awfully quick. I don't think he even got a first lap in. Tom Barish was the same thing. Jesse Sperling as well, but Sperling just now getting back on the racetrack. PJ Cox in the 05 Lone Star Racing Toyota off turn 4. Should take the green here. Lap actually was a 1972. See if you can improve off turn 4. A little lift off the throttle, keeps it off the wall. 7th quick, 19.388 for PJ Cox. Jesse Sperling. $19.636 puts Sperling in the 10th spot for now. Zach Millett takes the green flag. Fastest in practice. We'll see if he can back it up. Eleventh quick on the first lap for Millett, 19.637 the time. Best time so far is Alfie Charon with a 19.19. See what lap 2 yields for the 315 off turn 4. Plug check at the finish, 13th. Nope, goes P1, 19.046. Little delay in the timing and scoring, but Millett goes P1 here almost into the 18-second category. Connor Leach finishes up 8th quick, but he's going to be fast in the race for sure. Jeff Ottinger finishing up lap 2 on his attempt. 12th quick. 19.441 the fast time. Derek Welch on the Speedway. Lap 1 invalidated, but Welch goes second quick on his second lap, a 19.179. Good lap for the one. Paul Durkee in the number 13 machine. We're in a 24 on lap 1, 6th quick. Lap 2 in the books, or is it? Looks like Durkee might have got the wall on his second lap, so that'll invalidate the time. Jarrett Woodard in the number 79. Back to start finish, Woodard clocks in 20.778, 20th on the scoreboard. That may wrap it up for those that will make an attempt. It looks like Tom Barish, Joe Tucker, Caleb Sisk, Russ Kilgore, Justin Lawson so far opting not to take a time. So we'll take the opportunity here to take a look at the point standings coming into tonight. After Dover Motor Speedway, Jesse Redding winning the race there last week. Derek Welch, Chris Klein, your top three. In the standings, though, it's Joshua Sisk, Caleb Sisk, that is, 84 points. Jesse Redding, second, and then this is after the reset. Zach Millett, third. Alfie Sharon, fourth. Chris Klein in fifth. Brandon Coleman, Derek Welch, PJ Cox, Jesse Sperling, and Jarrett Woodard, your top 10. You can see the rest as it goes down the leaderboard all the way down to the 26th position in Michael Eden. So while we've got a short break in the action, we will step aside here, get our break out of the way. We'll be back after this. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, let's take a look at our starting grid for race number 13 of the Davidson Builders Truck Series. On the pole position with a lap time of 19.046 seconds, it's the 315 of Zach Millett. Outside front row, it's Derek Welch, missed it by just over a tenth of a second. He'll start second. Alfie Charon in row number 2. He'll start in the third position with Brandon Coleman starting fourth. Starting fifth, it's going to be the 41 of Chris Goins with Paul Durkee in the number 13, starting sixth to his outside. Starting seventh, Jesse Sperling. Eighth goes to Scott Milner. Connor Leach, very fast the last couple of weeks. We'll see if he can work his way towards the front. He'll start ninth. 10th starter is Chris Klein. 11th, PJ Cox. Ben McKinnon will start 12th. 13th starter is Jeff Ottinger. Mark Collins will start 14th. 15th goes to Brian Torsha. D. Allen Grote starts 16th. Jacob Sperling rolls from the 17th spot with Jesse Redding starting on his right side. In the 18th position, Skylar Harrod with Skunkworks Racing in the 3. He'll start 19th. The 79 of Jarrett Woodard out of Canada will start 20th. Joe Tucker, the 35, will start 21st. Caleb Sisk starting from the back here tonight. We'll see if the 6 can work his way to the front of the field from the 22nd position. 23rd, Justin Lawson. 24th, Russ Kilgore. And last but not least, the 55 of Tom Barish starting 25th. It's your starting grid here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. The field beginning to grid up here on the main straightaway. Should be taking 2 pace laps before we get under the green flag here in just a few moments. Again, taking another look at the race details from North Wilkesboro. 160 laps, the distance, 83-degree ambient temperature. Starting to dry out just a little. 87% humidity, overcast skies, 2-mile-per-hour breeze, and track temp 94 degrees. Two sets of tires over the wall and a 55% fuel allotment. Down considerably from the 4 sets and 70% fuel that was allotted originally in the schedule. Again, 2 pace laps to set the field. Working through turns 3 and 4. Pace car should pull off the racing surface here this time. We'll see the green flag go in the air. Barney's got it. He waves it. We're underway from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Barreling into turns 3 and 4, now under power. Off turn 4, Millett leads. Derek Welch there, close and hot pursuit, but now he's got company in Alfie Charon looking to the inside. They might have had some contact in the middle of 1 and 2. Doesn't look like it, actually. They get out of the corner cleanly. Alfie stays to the inside. Derek can't quite turn it down to the bottom like he wants to with Alfie there, and Alfie gets clear off turn number 4. Zach Millett, Alfie Charon, Derek Welch, Brandon Coleman, Paul Durkee, the top 5 in various orders as the 19 goes up the racetrack. He's going to maybe lose some ground here. Looks like indeed that is the case. Paul Durkee's going to take the spot away. Coleman trying to battle back to the outside. Durkee now with the 4th position, already up 2 positions since the drop of the green flag. Coleman, teammate, maintaining his position now in 5th, down 1, but on the charge here, Chris Goins. He lost his spot initially at the start, trying to regain at least that much and looking for more. Let's ride on board. Goins is there. He seems to have a little bit more pace than the 19. Coleman, a little out of shape, out of the corner. Goins is going to try and take advantage to the outside. Might have the spot. Certainly got the momentum at start-finish. Carry that down into turn number 1. Has a nose out in front. See if that outside line starts to come in. It seems to be working for the 41 for the time being. Chris Klein might follow him through as well. Coleman in trouble here early on. He's lost a handful of spots already and about to lose another one here to the 51. And he's got Connor Leach breathing down his neck as well. The 71's bound to be quick here tonight. Alan Grote might have had an issue on the racetrack. If he did, it was quite small, and he's back at it. A little bit of damage to the right in front of that number 14. Jesse Redding now on the bottom of the racetrack. Redding off to pace. He's got some right front damage. Jesse Redding may be involved in this as well. Some left rear damage, right front looked towed out as well. He's trying to nurse it back to pit lane. Driver's going to come down. Scott Milner as well. Right side badly damaged. Zach Millett continues to lead. Let's go back and take a look at it, see if we can figure out what happened here between these drivers. The first incident that caught our eye was the 14 of D. Allen Grote. I don't know if Jesse Redding became part of this as a bystander or he was the match that lit the fire. Off the nose. Oh, big time impact. That's like the worst part of the track you want to make contact with, where that wall opens up on the backstretch. Try and get a better look at it from a different perspective, maybe from the blimp. There we go. Now this is out of turn 2. Skyler slides up the racetrack, gets into the left rear. Jarrett Woodard trying to sneak by, but yeah, big-time impact. So Woodard gets a piece. Joe Tucker, D. Allen Grote comes in late. He gets a piece of it as well. How that wasn't a caution, I don't know. So back out front, Zach Millett still with the lead. Just a hair under 2 seconds the advantage to teammate Alfie Charon. HBR TV trucks 1 and 2 for the time being. Paul Durkee not too far behind either in the 3rd spot. Chris Goins up to 4th. Derek Welch, after a strong qualifying run and a good start, is back in P5. Connor Leach working his way, and we're 3 wide here. Jesse Redding up top, not on the lead lap anymore after having to pit after that incident. And Connor Leach on a tear. Remember, we saw him run the race at Martinsville. Is very, very aggressive. Made a few enemies, but got to give him a pat on the back. The last couple of races, he's really cleaned up his act. Clearly has a lot of pace around these places, but had to dial back the aggression, and he has done just that. Van Meter Racing says, no caution for that? And that's the fun thing is, we're on iRacing cautions here, so it should be automatic. Getting underneath the 55 and Tom Barish. Barish now a lap down. Harad looking inside of Brian Torsha. Skyler really trying to work the bottom and take that spot from the 81. Not enough to get it done. Seems the outside might be paying off a little bit better here for Torch. Almost some contact, though. Skyler almost ran in the back of him. Gets a nose out in front. This off turn number 4. Still not quite clear of it. It's just a matter of time, it looks like. Got Ben McKinnon in the path of the 3. Meanwhile, Caleb Sisk closing in as well. Torch is going to lose a bunch of spots here. 3 wide off turn 4. Torch is off the pace. I don't know if he's just trying to let these guys go as Sisk loses connection again. If I had a nickel for every time I got to say that each week. Unfortunately for the 6, that's been a recurring issue for him. Zisk now to the inside of Skylar Harrod. This is for position. Caleb again had to start from the back. Up 9 positions now in 13th, as still battling here with the 3 of Harrod. Caleb gets clear and loses connection again. Every time you see that we're focused on a truck and all of a sudden the camera stops chasing it, well, that truck has disappeared. Whether it's connection-related issues or PC-related issues, either way, it's a common symptom of both problems. Just got to cross your fingers and hope that you come back in if you're the driver having that issue. Again, for the drivers that are racing around you, it's even more disheartening, I guess you could say, when that happens to the truck that you're right in behind or battling with closely, because you might have had a good run out of the corner. Now all of a sudden the guy in front of you disappears. Well, that good run, you could be driving into the space where that truck should have been but is no longer. Well, if he pops back in and he lands on the hood of your truck, well, then there you go. You got to crash and you got to caution. Top 5 unchanged: Millett, Charon, Durkee, Goins, and Welch. Leach on a tear. He's up into the top 10 now and about to be working on 5th. Derek Welch in the 1, the NTG Toyota off turn 4. Last lap, Leach was about a little over a 10th quicker than Welch, as he is right there on the tailgate of the 1. Leach to the inside of Derek Welch, down the backstretch. Makes the run to the inside in turn 3. Derek may be smart enough here just to let him go, and he does just that. Let's move Derek Welch to P6, and Connor Leach finally cracking the top 5 here. 30 laps in, didn't take him very long. Chris Elliott in the chat says Jesse disappeared into that ambulance hole for a second. Sure did. Luckily he didn't need one after it. More going back into the stream chat here. Let's see. We got Shugu says 8 watching, 2 thumbs up. Let's bump those numbers up. Thank you for that. Yes, if you're here watching, it doesn't take much. Make sure you're logged into your account and click the like button. It's free to do, and it helps the broadcast and the league quite a bit. Just click it. It's all you got to do. If you're bored, go back and click it through all the other races that you watched and maybe forgot to do it with. Makes a massive difference. It really pumps the video out into some fresh eyeballs, and it helps us in the long run. Vincent Short says, prayers for all the drivers. LOL, my favorite though. Chastity Tucker, Realtor, of course. Let's go Tucker. Van Meter Racing, we talked about that with the no caution. Then Justin Lawson, let's get it done, Durkee. No Justin Lawson here tonight. Usually he would be a competitor in this league. Millett starting to close in on some lap traffic here once again. Jeff Ottinger may be the first one to go down, then Russ Kilgore and Brian Torsha the next. Millett, admittedly not a big fan of short track racing, but seems to perform decently every time we go to one. My biggest observation with the 315 is just about any place that you got to run the brakes any length of time, he's going to be fast, whether he likes it or not. Crystal Villano says, already liked and shared the broadcast. Well, Crystal, thank you for being such a top performer. Get everybody else up to speed, we'll be good to go. Millet putting Ottinger a lap down. Next on the list, Russ Kilgore and then Brian Torsha as they continue to battle for position. Kilgore to the inside, Torch to the outside of the 81 machine. Just ahead of them, it's Skylar Harrod, Ben McKinnon. Torch has the position for the time being. Might have found a little faster lane here, working the top side, not so much the bottom. Early on in the race, we saw that the bottom side was where you wanted to be. It didn't really perform well in the outside lane, especially for Derek Welch. But now as the race moves on, drivers starting to work in that outside line just a bit. See McKinnon way up the racetrack trying to build that line as well. That's the thing about this place. It's a short track and all, but it is pretty wide. You can actually work in a lot of grooves. Opens up options for the race drivers as far as where they can attack, make their passes from. In Zach Millet's case, though, he's going to try to find a way around these slower lap trucks to approach lap 40. We got Lori Vickers in the chat. Let's go Sperling Brothers, 29 and 88. And boy, I love the look of that 29 representing and also the 88 car. Jesse Sperling with new colors on the truck this week. The Vickers machine. Back to Zach Millet as he's trying to work his way through this lap traffic. He's got a pretty hefty lead on second place, Alfie Charon. It's 5.5 seconds. Doesn't need to rush his way through this, because after all, once he does get through the lap traffic, everybody behind him is going to have to do the same thing. Just got to tiptoe his way through here and avoid problems. And now they're 3 wide. Kilgore gets to the grass and almost spins out. That's the kind of stuff as a race leader you got to watch out for, and it certainly increases the pucker factor. Millet trying to find a safe path around. Now he's to the outside of the 3. Skylar Harrod quickly makes that pass, completes it, gets to the bottom of the racetrack on Brian Torsha. Millet just trying to knife his way through some lap traffic. Stays alongside the 81. Interestingly enough, I don't know if Millet's burned up his stuff. He's having a bit of a time trying to get clear of the 81 and Torch, but now Brian gets tucked in behind Ben McKinnon. That might slow him up just a touch. Allows Millet to get clear of the 81, and it looks like possibly the 15 as well off turn 4. So Millet with some clear sailing out ahead of him for at least a little while. Vincent Short talking about tying up the passing lane. Well, this isn't a highway. You pass wherever you can get by. Checking on some fast movers once again. Connor Leach up 4 positions on the tower. Quietly working his way through. He will be a factor in this race before it's over. No doubt about it. Slowly but surely working on the 41 of Chris Gomes. He's about a truck length off the back bumper. Albert Anderson in the chat. Great racing on the track. And another great broadcast by Steve at HBR TV. Thanks, Albert. I think you got a win last night, if I remember that correctly. If that's the case, congratulations on that win. Continue to watch this quiet battle between the 41 and the 71. Chris Gones in the 4th position in the Popple Pro F-150. Connor Leach in the skunkworks.com 71 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Clearly out of Canada. 2 Canadians in the race tonight. Of course, Connor Leach and Jarrett Woodard becoming regulars in the series. Ryan Torsha still just ahead of Skylar Harrod. This is the fight for position. Harrod is all over him. It seems the 3 might be a tick faster right now. He's right on board with the 3. 12 trucks still on the lead lap. It didn't take long for Millett to start lapping guys, and he's lapped half the field to this point. That Skylar's driving it deeper on entry. See if he closes in on entry to 1. He does close some ground, but with Torch backing up his entry, he's able to get back to the throttle a little sooner and drive out. You see Harrod, truck's getting a little bit tight, had to lift a little bit on exit, keep it off the wall. I just still cannot get over that stylized 3 on an F-150. Just doesn't belong. Nothing against you, Skylar. We love you. It's just not right. So Torch is starting to stretch it back out now and build a gap between himself and the 3 of Harrod. It's a truck length and a half, maybe 2, back to Harrod. Millett still out in front now, 8.2 seconds the advantage over everyone else. As it stands, Caleb Sisk back in the 11th position, last truck on the lead lap, still fighting off connection issues. You see that happening once again through turn 4. He does come back in, thankfully. Oh, real loose into 1. Maybe too much rear brake or maybe downshifted a little too early. And Caleb may lose a lap here. So Millett gets underneath the 6 here. Caleb had a little issue on entry to turn number 1. Again, I don't know if that was a downshift too soon problem or too much rear brake that can tend to get the truck real loose on corner entry. Now, we did see some drivers in practice that were throwing down some really quick lap times by downshifting on entry to the corners. It's not that that's a bad thing to do. It's great in qualifying because you don't have to worry about beating up the tires for 2 laps. If you do it during the race, lap after lap, though, you're going to burn up your tires. That's going to happen, and you're going to use a lot more fuel on top of all of that. Now, with that said, as the run goes on, and you start to lose the handle of the truck because the tires have worn out, you're running obviously much slower lap times. And let's compare them here. Zach Millett's best lap, a 19:30 to this point. His last lap was a 20.91. So there's a bit of fall off there. You may be able to make up some of that by downshifting late in the run. Same thing, still in corner entry. It helps the truck corner in a little bit by slowing the rear wheels comparative to the front. Drags the rear end of the truck around just slightly. And then you hopefully can rely on a little bit of side force. I know we're at North Wilkesboro. You don't deal with a ton of that. But still, even mid-corner speeds, you're 70, 80 miles an hour. 64 laps go on the board. Zach Millett has led them all to this point. Alfie Sharon way back in the 2nd spot, 9 seconds behind Millett. Got to hand it to the drivers so far, though. Not a single caution, knock on wood. I know we had the one incident that probably should have been, but it didn't come out, so we haven't had any. Nice job, boys. Green flag pit stops may be coming soon. Again, the drivers do have 2 sets of tires over the wall, so 3 to work with if you count the ones that they start the race on. 55% fuel, and I'm really surprised they even made it this far. Could just be a matter of time. Millett still putting laps down on drivers. Mark Collins the next victim, so now the top 9 on the lead lap. Jesse Sperling in 9th. And you see Millett off turn 2 as Sperling getting into turn 3. He's got to keep going. So Mark Collins in 10th. He'd be the lucky dog if the caution were to come out. Jesse Sperling right on the bubble. If Millett passes Sperling, that moves Collins off of that lucky dog position and would move Sperling into it. What's the lucky dog, you say? I know we got a lot of veterans here watching, but in case there's somebody new, the lucky dog is just that. You're the lucky guy that when the caution comes out, you get to get your lap back for free. It's like pass and go and collecting $200. Krista Volano in the chat. Let's go HBR 9 and 315. Lisa says, go my Sperling boys. I love it when the families get into the chat. It's my favorite thing. I know it's a game or a simulator. These guys spend a lot of time and effort, and the families, well, frankly, they put up with it. I've been the guy behind the wheel plenty of times. I'm still sitting in my rig calling this race. It's time away from the family. It's the holidays, so really good to see the families getting involved and effectively being a participant in these races. It's really cool to see. "71 laps in here from North Wilkesboro. Can we potentially make this a one-stop race? We're approaching halfway. We're getting close. I don't think anybody really expected it to go this long without a caution. Oh, and Sperling is loose off turn number 2. Puts it in the inside wall. No caution. Sperling continues on. Tough break. Ryan Torsha going to lose his spot here, back into 13th to Ben McKinnon. Skylar Harrod now back to the back bumper of the 81. Now the next one on the list for Millett is PJ Cox. PJ running in the 8th position. Last lap for Millett at 21:04. We're approaching 2 seconds of fall off. So Justin Lawson confirming in the chat says, gonna be some green flag stops about lap 80. My fuel run was 83 laps, so they can certainly make this a one-stop race if it goes green all the way. It does change things up though. If they get to halfway and they get on that one-stop strategy, it kind of gives everybody that get out of jail free card. If the caution comes out late, they'll still have an extra set of tires over the wall. The question will be, do you take them if the opportunity presents itself? Now, if you're Zach Millett, that's the biggest dilemma. If the caution were to come out after those pit stops late in the race and you're the race leader, well, you have to decide. You want to take tires in chance that everybody else on the track stays out? Yeah, Millett's going to go back through and pass a bunch of guys, but will there be enough time for him to come back to the front? Or does he stay out and then everybody behind him pits? And then he's a sit and duck, 2 seconds a lap off the pace when those guys come out with fresh rubber. It's a tough decision to make. Personally, I'd rather get bit by trying than not. Stay out there and don't take the tires and you lose. Well, I don't know. Either way, a loss is a loss. But these are all hypotheticals. Hopefully we don't run into that. Maybe we do. It makes things exciting. Millett now one of only 7 trucks on the lead lap, and he hits pit road. Lap 79. So this could potentially put him in one-stop territory. I'm sure he burned a lot more fuel as the race leader and then trying to work through some lap traffic. Millett in the pits. Right side's going in the air. I can't imagine he would only take rights here. It's got to be 4. Alfie Charon comes in, the 13 in behind. Millet down and away, 15:58 to stop. Not a quick one. So first pit stops underway here at North Wilkesboro. Derek Welch in the pits as well. We've been green flag racing since this one got underway. We're just past halfway. Zach Millett went 79 laps, almost 80 laps on that first tank of fuel. We'll see if he can stretch it. If we stay green all the way to the end, I'd be very impressed. So far, I already am impressed based on the way Martinsville Speedway went. Another short track. There's a caution about every 7 or 8 laps there just a few weeks ago. So far, we're half past this race distance without a single caution to speak of. Still knocking on wood. Connor Leach in the pits. In behind Scott Milner. Chris Klein from the race lead. He's going to pull down pit lane as Connor Leach finishes his stop. Quick stop, 14:88. Chris Klein down and away. Really fast pit stop. 14.55 seconds for the 51. That Beaver Direct Toyota lightning quick in the box. So through the cycle, it looks like Zach Millet has retaken the top spot. And still enjoying an 11.7 second advantage over second place. That's more than half a lap over Alfie Charon. Top 7 on the lead lap. We're going to step aside and get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I met Mark.
Back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, Zach Millett continues to lead and frankly dominate here at the Speedway. An 11-second advantage over Alfie Charon. I think he might be in fuel save mode here for a little bit, just trying to make it truly all the way to the end if this thing does go green to the finish. Millett came down pit lane here at the end of lap 79. Take a look. We're right on board here with Zach Millett. Nice and smooth on the entry to the corner. Easy on throttle on exit. Really not turning that wheel a whole lot. That really is the key. Millett back to the inside on PJ Cox. This for the 8th spot. Put him a lap down. Millett a little loose on exit, trying to stay to the inside of the 05. Catch some other battles throughout the field here as Millett just continues to put on a clinic here at North Wilkesboro. Alfie Charon losing second to Connor Leach. Leach up into the top 2 for the first time here this afternoon. Now, if anybody's going to be able to run down Millett, it's going to be one of these two drivers. Connor Leach or Alfie Charon. Caleb Sisk, he's usually got the pace, but he's mired back there in the 9th position, and he's a lap down. Tough day for the 6. Certainly not what I expected of him. I know he had to start out at the back, but he's usually got plenty of pace everywhere we go, especially on short tracks. Just not his cup of tea this week. Jared Woodard into the grass. See what happened with the 79 truck just a moment ago. Exit of turn 2, just puts the power down, maybe a little too much wheel at the same time. Next thing you know it, you're facing the infield. He straightens it out, does a good job saving the truck. And we stay green. 107 laps of caution-free racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Again, as some may point out, we had a caution early on. It just didn't get thrown. I still don't understand how that didn't get a caution. We had multiple trucks involved in the racing lane at speed, and the yellow didn't come out. I'm not complaining, but one would help. Connor Leach pulling away from Alfie Charon. But Zach Millett still pulling away from everybody else. Paul Durkee having a strong run, still in the 4th spot. Derek Welch, remember, started outside front row. Running in 5th. Solid afternoon for the 1. Chris Goins back in P6. down 1 spot from qualifying. It's starting to look like you've seen what everybody's got. I don't think there's going to be any surprises here at the end of this one. Millett's running away from things. Connor Leach, to no one's surprise, up 7 spots in P2. Though his last lap, a 10th faster than Zach Millett. We have plenty of racing to go. There is still a chance Connor Leach could reel in Zach Millett. And I'll tell you, I would love to see it. Yeah, I know, HBR TV's on the side of Millett's truck, but man, I would take a better race. Millett just running away with this one. He's led the most laps, can't take that away for sure. Won the pole position, won practice. His only challenge here has been working through some lap traffic. Chris Klein running 7th. He'd be the next one to go a lap down. This time Millett was just a tick faster than Leach. So it may just go back and forth. Leach may be better 1 lap, Millett the next. Chris Goins coming into some lap traffic as well. Brian Torsha in the 13th position, 1 lap down. Mark Collins in a similar situation. Torch in the 81, Collins in the 23. Just ahead of them, it's Jarrett Woodard in the 79 truck. Almost contact there with Torch and Mark Collins. Torch up the racetrack, a little bit of contact again. Torsha and Collins, they are fighting for position. Meanwhile, you've got Chris Goins in behind. That's a lead lap truck. And he's got Zach Millett breathing down his neck soon with Chris Klein there as well, trying to stay on the lead lap. This could get interesting. Torch sliding up the track again, just leaning on the left side of the 23 of Mark Collins. Torch gets clear of Collins. Now it opens the door for Chris Goins and Chris Klein. Again, 2 lead lap machines trying to stay there as Zach Millett closing in. .40 laps to go from Wilkesboro. Now 39 as Chris Goins dives to the bottom here. Torch stays up the racetrack. Plenty of room given. Gets clear of the lap trucks and starts to drive away now from Chris Klein. Goins and Klein, 6th and 7th. Klein, the last truck on the lead lap, but for how long? As Zach Millett just a truck length off the back bumper of the 51. Still the question remains, is Zach Millett going to have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end if this continues to run under the green flag? He's got plenty of room out the back window, but the distance from himself back to Connor Leach has shrunk by about a second and maybe a 10th. Slowly but surely, Connor Leach starting to reel in Zach Millett. Oh, real loose. Chris Klein in trouble on the backstretch, gets a piece of the inside wall. Yet we stay under the green flag again. Keep a close eye on this. Some pretty significant damage to the front end and driver's side of the 51. Don't know if the right front has damage as well, as he did hit on that side. And not going to matter as Klein comes to pit road. They do have one fast repair. I don't know if Chris has used it yet. We haven't had really many issues to speak of, but Klein uses his fast repair. He's going to put right sides on, so he's going to be quick, and he's putting 4 on. You might as well give him a 32-lap run to the finish on fresh rubber. This actually, I mean, it's a gamble, but you got nothing to lose after that incident. This, you never know. It could pay off in the end. So now we're down to the top 6 on the lead lap after Chris Klein spins trying to stay on that lead lap ahead of Zach Millett. And now he's out there in fresh tires, so he's going to go by these guys like they're tied to a tree. Millett, the race leader, his last lap, a 21 flat. Let's see what Chris Klein can lay down. Granted, he is in some traffic, but he's got all the grip in the world as he's to the inside of the second place machine of Connor Leach. Let's Leach go. That's the thing here. It is wide, but pushing it 3 wide could be a little hairy. "27 laps to go. Klein up the racetrack alongside Leach. I don't know if Leach realizes he's a lap truck at this point. Leach was continuing to cut into that race lead. Still 10.1 seconds from Millett to the 71. We talked about Millett's last laps, now a 21.06. Chris Klein a 20.78. Granted, that was in traffic. We'll see what it is as he crosses the line. This time it's a 19.9. So much, much faster than the race leader by about 2 seconds. I can't math. It's about a second. Either way, it's faster. We watch Brian Torsha here in behind the 3 of Harad. Was there an issue just up ahead? There's some smoke and some tire tracks, but I don't see anybody around. Was it Chris Goins in trouble? I think it might have been the 41. Let's see what happened here to Chris Goins just a moment ago. Almost getting into the back of the 13. A whale of a job into turns 1 and 2, trying to save it. Nicely done by the 41 of Chris Goins. Down on the flat of the racetrack, dirty part of the racetrack, then he's in the grass. Virtually no grip down there, but he still gets it back on the racetrack, keeps it facing the right direction. Nobody else gets caught up in it, and he continues on. 24 laps to go here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Zach Millett still leads. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back for the run to the finish after this. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a iRace or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And the caution comes out just as we finish up the break with 18 laps to go. Jesse Sperling involved in this one, facing the wrong way on the racetrack in turn number 4. Let's see if we can get a look at what happened to the 29. So this is down the backstretch into turn 3 and behind Jesse Redding. No contact. He just loses it top of the racetrack. Maybe a little too high out of the groove. Overcorrects it. Spins it up the racetrack. Quick smack of the wall, and the yellow is finally on the racetrack for the first time here tonight. And we've got pit stops. Zach Millett for starters. A lot of drivers stayed out, but there's not a whole lot of drivers that were on the lead lap, so it's really not going to hurt to pit. If you're on the lead lap, you should have come down. Millett leaves first. Caleb Sisk shown as the second place machine. He made a pit stop last at lap 78. He's going to come down right now. But I think he's on the lead lap now. So this one's not over for Caleb. Caution coming out, certainly helping him significantly, but he's got an opportunity still with tires over the wall, now going on the truck. Now, one thing I want to cross my fingers on here is to hope that cautions, well, let's just hope they don't make a baby and breed more cautions. It's the last thing we need. This race has been clean, it's been good. But now you got everybody grouped back up here, going to be side by side for the restart. Late in the going, so everybody's going to be up on the wheel. Fingers crossed we don't wad them all up every 2 laps. Justin Lawson makes a valid point. Got to be careful not to go lap down taking tires under yellow. Total pit lane time for Zach Millett was 35.27 seconds. And under caution, they were getting laps done in about 40 seconds. So it's close, but not too close. But here is the battle that we've been waiting to watch. Connor Leach and Zach Millett getting ready to go to war. Teammate Alfie Charon in behind Zach Millett. Derek Welch going to restart to the outside of him.
Green flag.
And green flag back in the air. Millett gets the better restart, jumps out to a truck length ahead of Connor Leach, coming to 11 laps to go. Millett in charge. Truck length behind is the 71 of Connor Leach, then Alfie Chair, another truck length behind the 71. Time trouble here. We got Woodard, we've got McKinnon, we've got Sperling, and we got Chris Klein and Mark Collins. Some drivers just coming to a stop in turns 1 and 2. So second caution of the day. Here was my concern. Cautions breeding cautions. Let's see what happened. Russ Kilgore might have triggered this one. Maybe it might have been a stack up ahead of the 79. Let's back it up a little further. Seven, Russ Kilgore, the green truck. Woodard drives it down to the bottom here. He had a run getting in, but had to check up because he thought he might have been getting into the 21 of Reading. So chain reaction. Kilgore gets into him. Jacob Sperling makes contact. McKinnon goes around. Skylar Harrod might sneak through here. That was a better angle. Let's see what it looks like here from the drone. I think Jarrett drove it in a little deeper than he had planned. And I don't know if Jesse caught him off guard or what the situation was. Looks like Woodard might have got to the brakes a little harder than he wanted to. Chain reaction after that. So, getting to crunch time here, less than 10 laps to go. Zach Millett still out in front. Connor Leach second. Alfie Charon, Derek Welch, Paul Durkee, your top five. And again, if it does come down to it, we have the opportunity to go 3 green-white checkered finishes if necessary. At this stage of the race, everybody should be good to go on fuel with that late caution coming at lap 144. At least pit stops completed at 144. So there you see it. Lights on the pace car have extinguished. It's going to be 4 laps to go when we come back to the stripe. 4-lap shootout. Now remember, the drivers, or the race leader that is, just needs to make it back to start finish and take the white flag. As long as they get to the white, this race will finish. But if the caution comes out even 1 foot before they cross the stripe for the white, we'll line them up and try it again.
Green
Pace
flag.
car is in, green flag is in the air. Let's try to settle it. 4 laps to go. Another good restart by Zach Millett. Connor Leach under pressure from Alfie Charon. Charon tucks back in behind. Derek Welch in the 4th spot. Now he's under pressure. The 13 machine. Paul Durkee challenging for position number 4. He might have it. Across the stripe, 3 laps to go. Still no pressure out in front. Connor Leach a truck length behind, but still side by side for 4th. It's Welch and Durkee. Connection issue for Caleb Sisk once again, but a great recovery. He's up into the 7th spot. Now Chris Goins trying to take this spot away from Paul Durkee, get himself a top 5. We've got 2 laps to go. Zach Millett to turns 3 and 4. Looking at a white flag. Barney's got it in hand. It waves, and final lap here from North Wilkesboro. Zach Millett Started tonight from pole position. He was fastest in practice. He may have led every lap here tonight. We'll have to check that post-race. Certainly has led the most. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air. Race 13 belongs to that S4 guy. Second place was Connor Leach. Alfie Sharon was third. Connor Leach giving a congratulatory bump at the end. Yeah, a job well done by Connor Leach, working his way through the field in a great recovery. Good points night for Caleb Sisk. I know it's a tough break, but top 7, starting from the back, being down a lap. Job well done. Zach Millett parks it here at start-finish. Obligatory burnouts. Alfie Charon doing the same, celebrating with his teammate. We're going to jump out here and get one more break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Back in North Wilkesboro Speedway, post-race show underway. Zach Millett, your race winner. We'll pull Zach into the broadcast booth. Get a word with the driver of the 315 machine. Zach Millett, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got me?
Hey, buddy. What's up?
We're doing well. Congratulations. A dominant win here at North Wilkesboro here tonight. We talked to you last week in the post-race, and you said, yeah, I'm not a real big fan of short tracks, but we'll see what we can do. Man, you put on a clinic here, a woodshed whooping, as they say. Walk us through the strategy tonight and what made you so much faster than everybody else here tonight.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I put in a lot of practice, and I think it actually helped me this week. I think just not overdoing it, The last couple of races, we've been putting in a lot of laps, and tonight I kind of got on the rig a little late, and I don't know, I think I was just a little more fresh to get after it.
Well, you certainly were fresh, and you certainly got after it. Again, I'm not even sure. You might have led every single lap. There might have been a lap or two that you didn't during the green flag stops. We'll have to go back and check after the fact. But nevertheless, a job well done. And the next race coming up is, well, right on your list of tracks that you're used to winning at quite a bit. That's Watkins Glen International coming up on January the 2nd. 45 laps going to be the race distance there in these trucks. How do you feel about it into the new year at Watkins Glen?
Honestly, I'd like to message Derek and see if we can double the laps. Maybe we'll just do 90 laps.
Well, 90 laps is a full cup race, so I don't know if we can work that out contractually, but
Maybe a little bonus, but
right.
you know, yeah, I like doing laps there just for fun. You know, it's obviously our home track and a special place for us, and yeah, anytime we get to race there, I'm pretty damn excited about it.
Well, season's starting to wind down again. Congratulations on another race win here at North Wilkesboro. Looking for 2 in a row. Who do you want to shout out to before I let you get going?
I got to thank you, Steve, and HBR TV for the broadcast. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. HBRTV1.com, HBRShops.com, Track Bar Media. The NTG, NTRL, DW, Mark, Chris, all those admins. Everything they do for us to come out here and have a good time every Tuesday. I got to shout out Beatles Custom Car Carriers on Facebook. Got to thank Castle Pax Power, Eric Dawson State Farm, all my great teammates over at HBR. Big thanks to everybody out there watching on YouTube. And shoot me a follow over on Twitch at ThatIs4Guy.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Congratulations again, and good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, buddy.
Zach Millett, your race winner. I don't know if he broke a sweat or not, but he doesn't even hardly sound excited. It was almost like a Sunday drive for the 315. Didn't have to fend off too much, and unfortunately, we really didn't get to see a whole lot of a battle between himself and Connor Leach. Again, a few races left in the season. Maybe that materialize as the season continues on. But with that said, let's get a word with the driver of the number 71, Connor Leach, in that Toyota Tundra TRD Pro with the skunkworksgraphics.com machine. Connor, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Connor, congratulations, man. A strong run. Not a great qualifying effort here tonight, but slowly but surely worked your way up towards the front. You pass Alfie Charon for that second spot. And then we're lucky enough to get a caution or two. We were hoping to see a bit of a battle between yourself and Zach Millett, but it just didn't materialize. What would have been the key? Were you better on older tires?
I think I was pretty good on older tires. Towards the end of that last run there, I was kind of just taking it easy. There was a 10 set once I got past Alfie. I mean, there was like a 10 or so second gap, and I was closing it a little bit. But I think Zach, he was saving fuel at the end, which I didn't need to do. I think I pit a little bit later, but I mean, 10 seconds. If you try to push, then guys behind are going to start getting past you. So I was just taking it easy. Just figured that was going to be where I was going to finish. Then the caution came out, and it's tough starting on the outside. Like, I was able to stay ahead of Alfie those 2 restarts, but I mean, once Zach's got the preferred line going into 1 and 2, he can pull a bit of a gap, and I wasn't too good on fresh tires, or I didn't have the speed that he did, but you know, regardless, it was a really good finish. For, like you said, my qualifying lap was basically garbage. I just didn't have it, and kind of first lap didn't have a good exit out of 4, and then that just slows you down the rest of the way around. But I'm pretty happy to be able to get through the field the way I did, and didn't have another Martinsville incident like was in the past. Tried to take my time getting through people, and it worked out in the end. But I wish we could have had a little bit more, but way she goes. And it's a good run for Zach and Alfie, and it was nice to have a go at him, but wasn't meant to be.
Well, it's certainly been fun to watch you these past few weeks, and we look forward to more of it throughout the course of the season. Nothing going on here at all, really, until 2024. January 2nd, we're back, but on a road course at Watkins Glen International. I know you're quick on ovals, but how do you fare on the road course?
I do pretty good on road courses. I don't do a lot of road racing in iRacing unless it's in a stock car. I do a bit of GT3 with some guys that are local to me, but I do really love running road courses in stock cars. They're just so much fun to wheel around and kicking the rear end out, just having fun with them. And you got to have some discipline when it comes to saving tires. But I'm looking forward to that one. I know Millet, he's a missile out on road courses, but hopefully we can try to chase him down and maybe give him a little bit of a challenge.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. I'm with you as far as road courses and stock cars, or even trucks in this case. They are a lot of fun. We really do look forward to that. Of course, Millet and myself, both New York natives, we make that pilgrimage down to the Glen at least once or twice a year. It's kind of our home track, but...
oh, I wish I could see it.
You're not too far away. I mean, you're British Columbia, right?
Yeah, it's only probably a 50-hour drive or so.
All right, well, save up, get a flight, figure it out. Well, I'll hang out and have some beers.
I'll have to consider it for sure. But yeah, it'll be fun. I do like Watkins Glen. I joined this series late, so I didn't get to run Sonoma with you guys. But that one, I don't know it too well. So that one, I don't know if I'd fare too well on. But Watkins Glen, I've got a pretty good idea what to do around there.
Yeah, Sonoma's pretty tough. It just melts tires. I'm not a fan of it myself, but it is what it is. We're getting off on a tangent. Connor, congratulations again, man. A second-place finish. Strong run for sure. Wish you the best going forward, but who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I'll thank Alan from Skunkworks Graphics. He made this graphic for me, and he's got one for me in the Xfinity car as well now, and it's sweet. I love having the big old maple leaf on the hood of this thing. It looks real good on this Toyota Tundra. And thanks for Skyler. He brought me on to Beer Money Racing for the Xfinity series, and then he's on the team with Sisk and Alan himself. And just thanks to those guys for letting me race with them. It's been a blast, and I'm always looking forward to the next one, and just happy to be part of a nice league like this. Derek does a great job, and you with that voice of an angel all night long, man. It's just fun to listen to. I love going back and watching these races.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and glad you do watch it. Thanks for being here, and thanks for making it interesting in some cases.
Yeah, let's get some more thumbs up in that YouTube channel, eh?
You heard the man. Let's get them likes going. Connor, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in a couple of weeks at the Glen.
Yeah, thank you.
Connor Leach, your second place finisher here at Wilkesboro. Next, we're going to talk to the 9 of Alfie Charon. Get his words about his third place finish. Alfie, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You with us?
I got you, Steve. How you doing?
We're doing good, Alfie. Congratulations, man. You started third, you finished third. I guess you can't really complain about it. Looked like you might have been set for an HBR TV 1-2. It just wasn't meant to be. The Canadian Connor Leach gets by you there late. Was there anything you could have done to reel him in, or did you just have the pace on you tonight?
I mean, I could have given him the little bumper and seen if I would have got him loose a little bit, but, you know, he tracked me down and passed me clean, and I was just going to repay him back the favor and just race him clean to the end.
It's amazing how that works. No?
Yeah.
Nothing?
No, you know, I mean, sometimes if they pass you clean and if it comes down to a top 2 finish, you know, with your teammate winning, sometimes you got to give the bumper, but I thought better of it tonight and just raced it to the end.
You know, in all seriousness, we've all talked about it. The talk around the garage is, you know, that first race that Connor Leach was here is like, oh man, that guy's driving over his head. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's too aggressive. He's this, he's that. But since then, he's been lights out. He's been quick. He's been clean. He's been patient. He's been fun to watch across the board. And I'm sure on your stance, I haven't personally raced against him, but I'd imagine he's been pretty pleasurable to race against.
He has been. I mean, Derek did the best way to describe it. Martinsville was not the best race for him, and actually, me and him were just talking about that. You know, he came home, and you know, liquid encouragement kind of got the best of him, and he kind of raced a little bit iffy. But I mean, ever since then, he's put on one heck of a show, driving either through the field or leading laps, and he's been doing pretty good.
So you know how to handle liquid encouragement. You used to race an OG quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, it takes a toll on your body when you're trying to race.
Well, as far as your race was concerned, I know we didn't expect this thing to go green past halfway. In fact, we went all the way to, I think, lap 142, I think, before our first caution. Did that really throw a curveball in your strategy for tonight, having such a long green flag run to start this thing?
Honestly, it did. I mean, I did not practice long runs at all. Most laps I practiced was about 25. And I figured this would have been almost close to Martinsville, but probably not as many cautions. But, I mean, everyone in here did a did a heck of a job keeping it clean. And I mean, we've seen everyone get loose, but did 140 something laps without a caution. I mean, that's hats off to everybody.
Really was a solid race. I know a dominating performance for teammate Zach Millett, but a strong run by yourself as well. So we'll look to see more of that here in a few weeks in Watkins Glen. I know your road racing skills have improved considerably over the last couple of years that I've known you. How do you feel about your chances for maybe a win or even a 1-2 with you and Zach Millett at the Glen on January 2nd?
Well, I mean, as most people know that have watched him for a long time, Zach is pretty much lights out at Watkins Glen. It's his favorite track on iRacing. So to finish second to him is an honor. It's pretty much Zach's in a whole different, it's almost like multi-class racing, Zach's in the LMP car, everybody else is in GT3. That's pretty much how we got to look at it.
Fair enough. Alfie, again, congratulations, man. A solid top 3 here at Wilkesboro. Wish you the best of luck in the new year. Who do you want to thank before I let you go?
I just got to thank you for everything that you do with broadcasting and everything. You do one heck of a job. It's the best streams out there to watch. Got to thank NTRL and all the admins that help put on such an amazing league for us to run in. And like you said it perfectly, got to thank my HBR teammates, Zach, Torch, Jesse, Chris. We all bounce information off each other. They're best team out there. Got to thank Track Bar Media. Brian Rose, check him out if you need any media stuff done. Eric Dotson State Farm, Beetle Custom Car Carriers, Sim Central, and check out my merch and everybody else's on hbrshops.com, and check out all of Steve's work on hbrtv1.com.
It's almost like you rehearsed it. Alfie, nice job, man. Thanks for talking to us. And again, if we don't talk to you, which I'm sure we will, Happy New Year, man.
You too, buddy. Merry Christmas as well.
Thank you. Alfie Charon, your third place finisher here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let's take a look at our official race results before we get too far into things. Of course, we talked to our top 3, Zach Millett, Connor Leach, Alfie Charon. 4th was Derek Welch. Paul Durkee was 5th. Chris Goins, 6th. Caleb Sisk comes back to finish 7th. Gained 15 spots on the night, and he finishes as the hard charger. Chris Klein was 8th. PJ Cox 9th. Russ Kilgore was 10th. Mark Collins finished 11th. Jacob Sperling, the number 88, finished 12th. Brian Torsha was 13th. D. Allen Grote was 14th. Ben McKinnon 15th. 16th place finisher. That went to Skylar Harrod. Jeff Ottinger was 17th. 18th went to Jarrett Woodard. Jesse Redding was 19th. Jesse Sperling 20th. 21st was Brandon Coleman. Joe Tucker was 22nd. Tom Barish 23rd. Scott Milner 24th. And Justin Lawson 25th. 160 laps down. Again, I'm not sure what happened to Justin Lawson. I saw him in the chat early. I assumed he didn't start the race, but based on his laps down, he probably didn't start the race. So I don't know what the situation is there. Hopefully we can dive into that later on and figure it out. That's going to wrap it up for us here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Again, thank you guys all for tuning in. It was a fun race. I love coming to Wilkesboro no matter what the case, whether it's trucks, cup cars, Xfinity, street stocks, it doesn't matter. And speaking of street stocks, if you haven't already checked out, you've heard us talk about Pit Stop TV in the past and Whiplash Sim Cams. Pit Stop TV's got a street stock race going on right now at Lanier. It's a 65 lapper. They're not even halfway. So if you want to check those guys out, Pit Stop TV on YouTube, the Lucky Motorsports iRacing at Lanier. Those guys, they started off about 25 minutes ago. They're at 23, 24 laps in, so still plenty of racing left, and it'll be over pretty quick, so you won't be up too late. Don't worry. But check those guys out. They help us out a lot here at HBR TV. They even filled in for us a time or two when I wasn't able to cover a race due to one reason or the next. So with that, thank you guys all for watching. Congratulations, Zach Millett, on the race win here tonight. Excuse me. Again, Christmas coming up this weekend. Whatever you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays across the board. Whatever you got to do there. We do appreciate you being here. We wish happy holidays for everyone out there in the broadcast land. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the new year. Have a good night.